As the sun rises on Alberta on municipal election day, a referendum question could mean next spring will be the last time Albertans will turn their clocks ahead. On the ballot, the chance to put Alberta on permanent daylight saving time starting next fall. Moving the clock back and forth comes with damaging effects.
We know there's an increased rate of car accidents that following week. People don't feel well, they feel tired all week long. There's increased rates of strokes and heart attacks that week as well.
But Professor Michael Antle says the better choice would be permanent standard time. He worries about the effect of people starting their day in darkness.
That chronic desynchrony that's going to last for about 5 months over the winter will feel so much worse than that bad week or two that we have in the spring when we spring forward.
Alberta adopted daylight saving back in 1971 as the result of a plebiscite.
They're also deciding on whether this will be the last province in Canada to adopt daylight saving time.
Keeping it constant through the year would mean in December, for example, the sun will rise in Alberta between 9:30 a.m. in the south and nearly 10 o'clock in the north. The idea of such a late sunrise is drawing mixed reviews with voters.
I like waking up with the sun personally. I think it's good for your health in general, especially mental health, depression, etc.
More and more of my friends are doing jobs that are from home anyways. So the light doesn't really make a difference for what their work schedules are.
Indeed, in Yukon, where they adopted permanent daylight saving time last year, it's working out okay for the most part.
Where instead of people who work 9 to 5 driving to work in the dark and driving home in the dark, but then when they come out at the end of the day, there's still a little bit of light left.
Some studies suggest people use those hours to shop or stay active. If Albertans vote in favor of permanent daylight saving time, they'll be joining BC, the U.S. Pacific states, and other provinces moving in the same direction. It's going to take a week of sunsets to know the results of the referendum. Carolyn Dunn, CBC News, Calgary.
For more on this referendum question and the potential health impacts, I'm joined by Mahmoud Mustafa, postdoctoral fellow at the University of Calgary. Good evening.
Good evening, Asha. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being on the program. As we heard, there are significant health concerns with changing the clocks back and forth, but there's also concern that permanent daylight saving time would put us out of sync with the sun, in particular during winter when the sun won't really rise until 10 a.m. in some places. What effect do you think that has on people?
It's a lot of effect. Like imagine you have to wake up 1 hour earlier every day for 5 months. That's a lot of, you have to drive to school, drive to work 1 hour earlier. And you feel like you missed 1 hour of sleep. Imagine you driving this way. That means there's lots of accidents. You are stressed. The mental health is impacted. And over that, you're driving during dark.
Sleep deprivation, just so dangerous. And there are concerns as well during the summer. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'll go back again to sleep because consistent and sufficient sleep is important for our kids' brain development. So imagine that here in Alberta, here in Calgary, the sun won't set until it's 10 p.m. So kids who got used to sleep routine around 8 or 9 p.m. over the winter will find it hard, especially in June and July, to go back to sleep at 8 and 9 p.m. because it's still bright outside. They want us to keep playing until 9 or almost 10 p.m. So having interruption to their sleep routine will impact their brain development and will affect generations to come.
I lived in Edmonton. It definitely messed with my system for a while. You believe permanent standard time is a better option, but voters only have 2 options on this ballot. It's either stay the same or daylight saving time. What do you recommend?
Permanent daylight saving time is the worst of the 2 options. So I encourage everyone I know to vote no for this. We don't need, having to spring forward and backward twice a year is much less harmful than having permanent daylight saving time. And after rejection of this proposal, we can then talk to our representative and MLAs to have another referendum to make permanent standard time is the option here in Alberta.
Mahmoud, appreciate this. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.